Yes to the Impossible, the Nolo Letele Story is a documentary about the life of the former MultiChoice Group Executive chairperson, coming to DStv from the 13th of June at 9 p.m. The documentary tells the story of how Letele made it his mission to ensure that African content has its own voice. He joins us now and will tell us more about him studying electronic engineering at the University of Southampton, but ended up becoming a media executive for one of the largest media companies in the world. A very good morning to you. What an honor.
Good morning, Aldrin.
How are you feeling this morning?
It's Sunday morning, so no, I'm feeling good. Yeah.
You're feeling good this morning?
And the name is Letele.
Letele?
Yeah, Letele.
Letele. Okay,
Letele.
no, apologies for the mispronunciation there. The 13th of June, are you looking forward to that date?
Absolutely, but it's taken 2 years in the making, so I'm glad that it's finally done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
You're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Without giving much away, what does this documentary tell us about your life and also your contribution to the media landscape that we currently see in South Africa? Or even the continent, for that matter.
I was going to say the continent especially. Yeah. It does a lot I think, in the way that I've played, I think, a significant role where I got to work in Lesotho. When I came to South Africa looking for a job after qualifying, I realized there's no jobs in 1974 for black, graduates and that. So they offered me a job to work as a foreman in a storeroom. So I worked for Lesotho Broadcasting, and that was a fantastic experience for me. And of course, it led to meeting with Mnet and, getting Lesotho TV operating pretty much at no cost to the Lesotho government. So that's one achievement. And of course, Koos Becker came along and made me an offer I can't refuse. That's how I came across to join Mnet.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to 1988? 1988, yes. Where you are now trying to source the content for Lesotho TV. And when I was reading the article in the City Press, I was like, geez, 1988. I was born in 1988. I was born in 1988, but you're already starting to go on a journey that promised to change the landscape of media, but also the type of stories that are being told about Africans.
Yeah.
Speak to us about that journey.
I don't know where to start with that, because in 1988, you see, I was given a mandate to actually start a TV service because I was the chief engineer, at no cost to the Lesotho government. This was going to be pretty much impossible. And I was fortunate that I ran into Mnet, and we collaborated. I closed the deal. I literally negotiated and closed the deal with Mnet. And Mnet cut a 2-hour window for Lesotho to show Lesotho content. And that was there for 10 years. The rest of the thing was Mnet all around, but the 2 hours was Lesotho content. And of course now Lesotho is running itself. But it was a big, for me, a big milestone, which I loved. Yeah.
And then laying the foundation to then penetrate the continent eventually. And right now, I think MultiChoice has about 100 million subscribers across the continent. What does that tell you?
It's not 100 million. I wish it was. It's something like 22 million,
22 million. Okay.
But that's substantial. I mean, Sky, I think, has that many subscribers in the UK. But I think we did a lot to spread MultiChoice across Africa, which I can tell you, a bit about if you want. It took, at a time in 1990 when there was the height of apartheid. And when I took on this job, and my brief was to take Mnet into Africa, I thought this was impossible to do. I thought I'd be laughed at. And I thought that, we carried briefcases back in those days. But I was amazed. The doors opened, and the Mnet product was such a good product that, and it had no editorial content. So people just loved it. And that's when I realized that what Mnet was selling for pay TV was sport and movies.
Yep.
And of course, series now are really it, around Africa. But with that, we were able to start our pay TV operations. Mm-hmm. We had to find a partner. The partner had to have a license. And the partner with the license, we then formed a joint venture where we went 50-50, and which was good because the partner then, with 50% shareholding, he can intervene when there's problems in the country, and it's worked fantastically well. And on top of it, the other partners are the national broadcasters, like in Zambia, in Kenya, yeah. Mm-hmm. But it was an interesting experience for me. I think we'll get to that. Yeah.
And then because here's the thing is that pay TV was positioned as it is elitist, or it provides a service to those who can afford. Like most people, of course, still rely, for instance, right now in South Africa on the public broadcaster. And pay TV has always been seen as it's more elitist.
Yeah.
But now when you drive around South Africa, for instance, and you drive even through informal settlements, you will find that there is a dish there. Yep. There's a DStv dish. Speak to us about what that means and how, even with the discussions that were happening at the time, from Mnet to Mnet now becoming MultiChoice, to say, how do we become more inclusive, not only from a content offering, but also from a subscriber base as well?
I think I'll start with, there. I'm taking a step back. The biggest challenge I found was when you go and you say, we have this product, but you have to pay for it. People didn't understand that because, people are used to public domain, type television from the national broadcaster. But we came with this concept. It was difficult at first, very difficult. But when we now went to multi-channel broadcasting and we had all sorts of content available, it appealed to everybody. It wasn't just pay TV for the elites. People could go there and get news or even watch sport. It's taken time, but across Africa you'll find it in the in the ghettos and other places. You'll find satellite dishes there. I think we felt that we had succeeded in bringing two people to see what the other countries are doing, and also to see that there is freedom, from just being oppressed in the particular country.
When you had the discussion with Koos Becker, did you feel that you were equal to the task at the time? Also, of course, considering that you were already traveling the continent as a kid with your mother, who was a teacher, but did you feel that you have what it takes to take this particular massive task on?
Yeah. I was fortunate because I didn't have any of those preconceptions. When I came into Mnet, they were all white, managers and that. I'm no slouch, and I felt that I can handle this. But I also was connected to the different countries in Africa. And that, for me, actually is what made me feel that I was capable of doing this, which I set out and I got to do. But maybe I can just tell you that for all of this to happen, I ended up having to, in many countries, to meet the presidents. I ended up having to, in Namibia, for instance, I had to draft the, you know, that was 1990, so I had to draft the new Broadcasting Act. We couldn't use the South African one at that time. And then, of course, I met so many other ministers and, you know, to try to change the legislation so that we could have
Was the skepticism as well? Because when we speak about communications, we speak about soft power. And we know, for instance, how the Chinese are big on soft power and the understanding of soft power. Was there skepticism at all from other states to say that, how sure are we that the type of content that you want to bring is not a type of content that wants to influence also the political outlook of a country?
No, but remember I said that there's no editorial content in the channel. And of course, when they look at it...
But do we really say that? Because I think, for instance, even a series and how a series is drafted, the type of language that they use in the series, speaks somewhat to editorial. It somewhat editorializes a society, for instance. Yeah, I suppose you could argue it like that. But the thing is, you have a choice whether to pay for it or not. And as I said, I think the core of pay TV at the time was movies and sport. And there's nothing in there that, you know, you can actually affect, you know, a country. And yeah, maybe what we can say, and maybe I'll just throw that in now, you know, that MultiChoice has, I think, done wonders to bring local content and to support local content. And it's everywhere. It's not just here at home in South Africa. It used to be bubblegum movies in South Africa, you know, which went on. Even the term bubblegum tells you about the era.
But now you look at the series that we're showing. It's the same in Nigeria. Nollywood has become a serious mainstream industry now, all because of MultiChoice.
All because of MultiChoice.
Yeah. It's the same in East Africa.
Nolo, thank you so much for your time and all the best with the documentary. I wanted to ask you about what your take is on the Canal Plus agreement or negotiations. Let's leave that.
I think let's leave that.
Let's leave that. Let's leave that.